By the end of this video, you will be able to describe and define an atom, a nucleus, a proton, a neutron, an electron, and identify their charges. You will also be able to compare and contrast a compound, an element, a mixture, an atom, and a molecule. So let's begin. An atom is the smallest indivisible part in an element that takes part in a chemical reaction. It consists of a central nucleus surrounded by one or more electrons. The nucleus is the central part of an atom. It is composed of protons and neutrons, and it contains most of an atom's mass. The heavier the nucleus, the heavier the atom is. A proton is a positively charged particle, and it is found within an atomic nucleus. A neutron is an uncharged or neutral particle, and it is found within an atomic nucleus. And lastly, an electron is a negatively charged particle, and it is located in the energy shells or levels that surround an atom's nucleus. Here is an atomic structure table. A proton has a positive charge and 1 unit of mass. A neutron has no charge and also 1 unit of mass. And lastly, an electron has a negative charge and 0.00005 units, or 1 over 1846 units. So that means it's very less in mass, and that's the reason why the nucleus contains most of the mass in an atom. An atom is the smallest indivisible particle that takes part in a chemical reaction. It has a central nucleus surrounded by electrons. A molecule is a group of atoms joining or bonding together due to chemical reactions. An element is a substance that cannot be broken down to simpler substances by chemical means. An element is a compound of atoms that have the same atomic number. A compound is a substance that results from a combination of 2 or more different elements in a definite proportion joined by chemical bonds in a molecule. And a mixture is when 2 or more substances combine in such a way that each substance retains its own chemical identity, and they are not combined chemically. An atom is made up of a nucleus, which contains protons and neutrons and electrons as well, but a molecule is made up of 2 or more identical or different atoms combined chemically. A compound contains atoms of different elements which are chemically combined together in a fixed ratio. For example, H2O, water, is a compound made up of 2 elements of hydrogen and 1 element of oxygen. Yet, an element is a pure chemical substance made up of the same type of atoms, for example, H2. A compound is a chemically combined substance in a set ratio, while a mixture is a substance where the elements have simply been mixed together physically. It doesn't have any chemical bonds, for example, sugar, C6H12O6. These are chemically bonded and chemically combined to make sugar. Atomic number is the number of protons which an atom has in it, and mass number is the number of protons and the number of neutrons. So in this diagram where we have carbon, we can see that 12 and 6 are 2 distinct numbers. 12 at the top is the mass number, which is the number of protons and neutrons. So in this carbon element, it has 6 protons and 6 neutrons. And the atomic number, which is just the number of the protons, is 6. So that's how you get the number of neutrons, which is 12 minus 6, basically mathematics. All the atoms of a particular element have the same atomic number, or the number of protons. The atoms of different elements have different numbers of protons. For example, all oxygen atoms have 8 protons and all sodium atoms have 11 protons. The mass number of an atom is the total number of protons and neutrons it contains in its nucleus. The other word for mass number is nucleon number. The mass number of an atom is never smaller than the atomic number. It can be the same, but is usually bigger. The formula for mass number is the number of protons plus the number of neutrons, and the neutrons is equal to the mass number minus the number of protons. Atomic number is simply the number of protons in an atom, and the protons is normally equal to the number of electrons if the atom has not reacted yet. And that is what we're going to learn in our next video, which is basically valence electrons and valency, and basically how elements and atoms react. Thank you for watching.